Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi, good morning. Happy Friday. It's January 27th.
44 degrees outside. We've got to get through Friday and then we jump right into the weekend. Justin Horn joins us live.
Hey, good morning to you guys. Good morning, everyone. It's all about the clouds these days. Yesterday we had the hole punch clouds. It was a big deal. A lot of people sent in pictures. It was a really cool sight to see. And then this morning we had the sunrise because of some nice high cloudiness. It was really, really nice. Took a picture. You can check it out on my Instagram page. And then we're going to have some clouds moving in later this afternoon, and it becomes cloudy probably by this evening. Right now, temperature is 44 degrees at the airport, 38 up there at Canyon Lake. We are down to freezing in Comfort, one of the few spots there, 32, 33 up in Kerrville. Here's a look at the pollen count. Mountain Cedar sneaked back up today into the moderate category. It's a 240. Molds are low at 190. We were hoping cedar season was kind of winding down, but it does take a jump back up today. Here's a look at the forecast as you're planning out your day. More clouds, as I mentioned, by later this afternoon. We should top out close to 58 degrees. Becoming cloudy tonight, then we get off to a pretty damp start, it looks like, on your Saturday. Let's take a look at some of the weather headlines as you see some of the clouds out there. Drizzle, mist, a few showers on your Saturday morning. All of it will be light. But if you have plans outside, just something to keep in mind. We get a cold front on Sunday, and this does bring about some pretty significant changes. It'll be chilly and rainy for at least the first half of next week. Most of it will be light stuff, but it'll feel a lot more like winter, I'm afraid, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to have more on that forecast coming up in just a bit. Let's go over to Stephen now to check in on your roadways. Good morning, sir.
Well, Justin, we're keeping a close eye on this area, 410 at McCullough. Now, it seems like our TransGuide cameras are going back pretty quickly here, so we're going to try to get you the information, having some technical difficulties, as you can see right behind me. But what I can tell you is that this is a crash along 410 at McCullough. I'm going to try to jump back to that TransGuide camera there. Unfortunately, it's been causing issues for drivers. We're seeing a little bit of a buildup in the eastbound lanes of 410. But I'm going to watch this area closely. I'm going to toss it over to Mark and Steph and get you updates right here on GMSA at 9.
Thank you, Stephen.
All right, right now we are going to take a look at today's 9 at 9. The police body camera video from the arrest of Tyree Nichols is expected to be released today. The city of Memphis, Tennessee is bracing for protests. Lawyers for the family of Nichols say it shows his brutal beating during a traffic stop earlier this month. Nichols died days later, and 5 Memphis police officers involved are now fired and facing murder charges.
In the letter to the offices of former presidents and vice presidents dating back to Ronald Reagan, the National Archives asking them to check their personal records for any classified documents. Representatives for former presidents Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and the late George H.W. Bush say all classified records had been turned over to the archives upon leaving office.
A group of hackers holding everyone from hospitals to school districts hostage with ransomware attacks has been busted by the feds. Agents began to infiltrate the alleged Russia-linked group last summer, eventually seizing their servers in Los Angeles this week, but no one from the group has been arrested yet.
Southwest Airlines testing out software fixes developed after its Christmas travel meltdown. The airline is choosing to upgrade its current crew scheduling software rather than replacing the entire system. It comes as multiple investigations and reviews continue into the situation. The company expects to begin using updated software in a few weeks.
3 vaccine makers are in the early stages of testing single vaccine shots against both coronavirus and the flu. Moderna said it's launched a dosing and safety study of its combination shot. Pfizer said it's also in the early stages of testing a combination vaccine. And Novavax says it hopes to have the results of a stage 2 study of its version of the combination shot by the end of the year.
The Biden administration is aiming to protect renters with a multi-agency approach. The Federal Housing Finance Agency will look into potential limits on rent hikes, while the Housing Department will work on rental assistance properties and public housing. Other agencies will focus on background check methods and credit report accuracy.
Jobless claims fell last week, a sign that the labor market remains tight, even as large employers announce layoffs. The Department of Labor announced there were 6,000 fewer initial jobless claims. Adjusted weekly claims are up from last year's lows, but remain near pre-pandemic levels.
Bed Bath & Beyond says it can no longer pay its debt. The home goods company says it defaulted on its credit line with J.P. Morgan Chase on around January 13th. The retailer says it could be forced to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy reorganization. The company also added that it is cutting costs, closing stores, and lowering capital expenditures.
Sam's Club says members can expect to see more locations popping up over the next several years. The warehouse retail chain announced it's opening 30 new clubs across the U.S. The company points to growth in sales and a record rise in membership as the reasons why. Sam's Club says it will launch 5 new supply chain fulfillment and distribution centers as well. And that's today's 9 at 9. All right, in your morning headlines, scientists are creating shape-shifting robots that can escape cages.
Plus, the next con many of you may know is getting her own reality show, even though she's on house arrest. Alyssa Cole is here, filling in for David Sears this morning. And Alyssa, tell us what's going on in today's headlines.
Yes, good morning. A lot of interesting things happening, as you all mentioned, but let's dive right in. So we're going to start with a dramatic high-speed chase in California, and it was all caught on camera. California Highway Patrol officers pursued the suspect through Huntington Beach after a traffic violation. The driver drove on the wrong side of the road. You can see it there on your screen, around oncoming traffic and blowing through intersections. Eventually, officers carried out a perfectly executed pit maneuver, and the suspect was taken into custody. Meanwhile, science fiction has become reality, and I love science fiction. That's my favorite genre. Scientists have designed their own miniature robot that can shapeshift, even escaping cages. As you can see in this video, take a look. The robot is solid while in the cage, but it slowly liquefies to get out, similar to the villain in the movie Terminator 2. Scientists say they got the idea from a sea cucumber, which can alternate their stiffness to protect themselves. These robots are magnetic, can conduct electricity, and can shift between liquid and solid states to navigate tricky and compromising environments. Scientists believe the technology can have lots of real-life applications. And speaking of reality TV, 3 people had to get medical treatment during the filming of Netflix hit series Squid Games. It happened in the United Kingdom, but it's unclear what exactly happened to those people. The British press previously referred to conditions on the set as a war zone with temperatures below freezing. Netflix admits the very cold temperatures, but says participants were prepared for that. The streaming service also says medics were kept on set. They were kept on set there, keeping a close eye, and medical conditions were mild. So that's the good news. Anna Sorokin, better known as Anna Delvey, will star in a reality TV show while on house arrest. Get that. People magazine says the show will be called Delvey's Dinner Club. It will feature actors, musicians, socialites, and more visiting her New York City apartment for dinner parties. Sorokin says she will talk about her experience with the criminal justice system, her strategy to rebuild her image, and her plans for the future. The convicted con artist, who pretended to be a wealthy German, used a fake last name over a 4-year period, stealing an estimated $275,000. Since her release from prison, she's been barred from social media and must use an electronic ankle monitor every day at home. Now, that is what's going on in your headlines. Mark, Stephanie.
Good job, Alyssa.
Yes, thanks for keeping us updated.
Thank you for filling in today.
Yes.
All right, 9:06, 45 degrees.
And trending right now on KSAT.com, a viral TikTok posted over the weekend has people saying no store does more than H-E-B. So the video is about how H-E-B will steam and season your seafood. Something a lot of people like Mark and I didn't know about. All you have to do is ask. A spokesperson with H-E-B said this is something that most seafood service departments have been doing for years. You can read the full story and watch the video on our website at KSAT.com.
Who knew? All right, still ahead on GMSA at 9 on your Friday. Heating costs are rising as natural gas prices skyrocket, what some residents across the country are resorting to, and what the silver lining may be.
And did you know you can send Valentine's Day cards to service members and veterans? When we come back, details on this local program and how it's impacted lives throughout the years.
It's a Valentine's Day tradition, making Valentine's Day cards for your loved ones. And now you can make them for service members and veterans too.
Tiffany Huertas is live at Soldiers Angels headquarters to tell us what these cards have meant to our troops and our veterans. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning. It's all about helping spread love on this Friday. Just check it out. Staff here at Soldiers Angels, they're making some special cards. This campaign started in 2014, reaching service members in countries like Poland, Africa, and many others. We have Amy Palmer, President and CEO of Soldiers Angels. Good morning, Amy. Nice to see you. Tell us about how this campaign started.
Good morning. We started this program because people love to send letters and cards to our service members, but we were looking for a way to do that, to give them opportunities throughout the year to be able to do that. So Valentines was a great opportunity. A lot of them try to do holiday cards, but this is a little bit easier for us because it gives us another opportunity to get cards to our service members, veterans, and veterans who are hospitalized in VA medical centers around the country.
So how can people get involved?
We have, if they can go to our website, we have a program called Valentines for Veterans on the campaign page, and they can get information there about the program. But it gives them all the information. They send them all here to San Antonio. They make a $1 donation per card. That helps us control the volume that we get, because some years we'd get hundreds of thousands of cards. And then we get them out right away as soon as we receive them. Most of these will be going to deployed. Some will be going to VA medical centers.
What is the impact that you have seen when they get these cards?
The deployed love them, particularly because they weren't expecting them. You know, when you get a special box and you get some special Valentines on top, especially with some little candy bags and little treats and suckers that are taped inside, or even a note from a kid, it just makes it extra special.
And tell us about the campaign that is kicking off next week. There's another campaign. The socks.
Oh, A Warm Feet for Warriors actually kicks off next week. We actually have some socks here today. We collected hundreds of thousands of socks over the years, and so we're really excited about that campaign. Socks are great for deployed service members in all colors, even black that they have to wear in uniform, but even some off-duty socks they love, some colored socks. But we use them for VA hospitals as well, the diabetic socks, the no-skid socks, so there's almost no sock that we won't take.
Amazing. Well, this is all about spreading love here at Soldiers Angels. We'll send it back to you, and we'll have more details coming up on the noon show.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Thanks, Tiffany. Outside with live cam, 46. Did we just jump 2 degrees in the last 13 minutes, Justin?
Woohoo!
I believe we did, yeah.
Thank you, Justin. Now moving on to sports.
That about sums it up. Yes.
It's a Friday. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes,
It is a Friday.
So, tale of two the weekend, as far as splitting things up. Mike was saying this morning he wishes we could flip-flop days this weekend.
That'd be nice. Yeah, Sunday's going to be the warmer day. We're going to be up near 70, and that's going to be like the warmest day in the 7-day forecast.
Wow.
Because next week, it's going to feel like February. Temperatures are going to plummet. It's going to be cold, chilly, rainy, potentially. We'll take the rain. First, though, we start with the sunrise. Did you see it this morning?
It was beautiful.
It was incredible.
I only saw it because you told me about it.
Okay. Yeah, I was sitting there looking out the window, and man, you should have seen me sprint up to the roof. You got to catch it at the exact right time. See, that's the key. This person certainly did. Good morning, sunshine is what they put there at the bottom. That is incredible. Looks like that may be out in the hill country there, but I love the colors. Great shot. We got several more we're going to share with you through KSAT Connect. You guys did an awesome job yesterday, too, on the hole punch and the fall streak clouds that we were showing and talked about. If you missed it yesterday, some incredible cloud formations, and you can read more about that on KSAT.com. And as we go outside for you, there we go. We've got still some clouds moving across the city. It's called mostly cloudy right now. 44 degrees at the airport, 44 Stinson, 45 Kelly, 42 at Randolph. Not a lot of wind, but what wind we do see today will be out of the south, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. I want to show you the satellite picture, and I know it's kind of hard to see at this time of the morning, but you get an idea that we do have some of these high clouds moving across, high and mid-level clouds. Then as you go south, there's a nice low cloud deck down here that stretches from Corpus Christi down to Brownsville. This is going to be working its way slowly towards San Antonio. So I think by this afternoon, we really go overcast. 53 noontime, and then by later today, 58 degrees, going mostly cloudy to almost cloudy by dinner time. So that's where we'll top out, upper 50s, and then tonight we'll stay in the low to mid 50s, maybe briefly dropping into the 40s. Before we warm up a little bit tomorrow. Here's a look at the forecast, and it does show some of those clouds working through, and then the thicker clouds coming in this evening around 7 o'clock or so. Then we get drizzle and mist, maybe even a little bit of fog mixed in there tomorrow morning. So if you have Saturday morning plans, know that it's going to be somewhat damp. That's just the bottom line here. It's all going to be light, but it's just going to be kind of some wet roads and spots and that kind of situation. By 5 o'clock, this doesn't show a whole lot. We still could see a few showers, generally east of I-35, but the clouds hold. So an overcast day on your Saturday. Then as we get into Sunday, we'll see a few showers early, and then a frontal boundary tries to slide in. As it does, we could see some showers and maybe even a thunderstorm with this. This is midday Sunday. This is about the time we probably get up to 70 or so, and then once the front comes through, then we start to see things really cool down. Rain goes away as that front pushes through, and we will see some sun on Sunday, I think, but it again turns much cooler. Then we talk about rain chances. Saturday, 30%. Sunday, 30% with that front. Monday, we get some overrunning, another chance of rain. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, we start to bring the rain chances up as we get more energy moving into South Texas. So some encouraging news here when it comes to the potential for rain. And as we look at the upper level pattern, there's our low out west. This is the one that will be working on Tuesday into Wednesday. So Monday, the reason we have rain chances, southwesterly flow over top of this cold air, that front we were just talking about. You get the perfect overrunning situation where it's just kind of light rain but cold. We're going to see that again on Tuesday. The pattern doesn't change much. And then as more energy works its way in on Wednesday, that's when we get to up the rain chances a little bit. And we could see some showers, maybe even a thunderstorm on Wednesday. So some of the best rain chances I think we've had in a while. And as you look at the rainfall potential, I don't want to pay too close attention to this because this probably changes a little bit. But the highest totals will be off to our east. And this is through Thursday of next week, by the way. Half an inch to an inch, maybe eventually, once all this adds up together. Most of it will be light. And then lower totals out to the west. Just something to watch. 62 Saturday, 70 on Sunday, with that front coming through, and then overcast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And look at the high temperatures, upper 40s with showers in the forecast. It's not until Thursday that we clear out. So starting next week, it'll be jacket and umbrellas. It'll feel a lot like February.
The menu just changed for next week as far as lunch and dinner, maybe. What are you thinking?
Chili. Mike's
soup.
making grilled cheeses and tomato soup.
Right.
For all of us, right?
I hope so.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, he could start a food truck and do very well.
He could.
I think so.
Okay, we figured out Mike's next career.
Yes.
He'll stick around though. 918, 46 degrees.
A list of violations during our recent trip behind the kitchen door at 3 local restaurants. Which place corrected their issues and the other places that still need some improvements when we come back.
Check your trans guide. We still got to slow down. I think this is eastbound 410 at McCullough. You're watching GMSA at 9. Just about 9:22, a trio of Mexican restaurants are racking up similar health code violations during recent inspections.
Peeling paint, plumbing problems, and employees touching cooked food with bare hands. Just some of the violations.
Tim Gerber shows us what happened in today's Behind the Kitchen Door.
Taqueria Lisco, located in the 6600 block of Zarzamora Street, earned a 75 on their December inspection. A container of cheese was found stored on top of uncovered shredded lettuce. The food was tossed out due to possible contamination. Employees were seen handling ready-to-eat foods with bare hands. On top of that, the kitchen workers were not washing hands when required. In-use knives were being stored improperly and needed to be sanitized. There was mold and mildew buildup on the walls and some flaking paint that needed to be repaired. The business also had numerous plumbing issues, including a hand sink that was missing pipes and draining water directly onto the floor. I stopped by this week to see if they had made the necessary corrections.
Just wanted to see if you guys were able to correct the plumbing issues that was there.
We'll fix the problems. We'll fix it.
Manager Carlos Melendez said they're striving to do better. A re-inspection was ordered. El Sol Mexican restaurant in the 1800 block of Pleasanton Road earned a 77 and a re-inspection. At the time, they were operating without a permit. The shelves in a refrigerator were rusty and soiled with food debris. Employees were using their bare hands to touch ready-to-eat foods. The inspector noted the business was in need of a deep cleaning throughout the entire establishment. Caballito del Mar in the 900 block of New Laredo Highway earned an 80. The inspector found raw meat stored above fish and other seafood. They needed to clean the shelves in a refrigerator and a fan to remove dust, rust, and food debris. Employees weren't washing hands when changing tasks. Others were seen using bare hands to touch ready-to-eat foods, and they were using the hand-washing sink to store raw fish. It was removed. They also needed to address flaking paint on kitchen walls and conduct more routine cleanings of non-food contact surfaces. They were ordered to have a re-inspection. Tim Gerber, KSAT 12 News.
And $3 a gallon gas prices are back, $3.11 to be specific. That's the average here in San Antonio.
12 on your sides, Marilyn looks at why we're seeing such a steep climb and says why it isn't over just yet.
It's enough to give drivers whiplash.
Crazy.
Gas prices are jumping, up 15 cents in the past week, up 59 cents since Christmas.
I've never seen gas go up that high, not even 24-hour basis, just like that fast. It's crazy.
Why the sudden surge? Analysts point to the Arctic blast crippling some refineries and China reopening. But buckle up, there's more.
Late February and early March is really when we're going to start seeing prices likely accelerate.
Gas Buddy analyst Patrick DeHaan says $4 a gallon gas is a real possibility as refineries undergo maintenance and switch to summer fuels.
I'm hoping it won't be as bad as last year, but we still are likely to see a spring surge that after getting a taste of those sub $3 prices, it's going to be a pretty sour taste.
Not what Victor Carrion wants to hear.
I'm looking for a second job because just with food and gas and everything going up, it's getting real hard to do things.
To stretch your gas dollar, there are some things you can do. Start with your tires. Keep them properly inflated. The cold weather can cause the air to condense. Use apps like Gas Buddy or Gas Guru to find the lowest price near you. And fill up on Monday. Gas Buddy says in San Antonio now, that's the cheapest day to fill your tank. Every dollar really counts.
Every dollar certainly counts. It really does.
Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
9:25 on your Friday, 47 degrees. There's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Including a very special birthday. We're going to be hearing about a retired Army nurse and her amazing story, the challenges that she faced, and what made her a part of history.
But before that, the dire situation in some cities around the country as many try to keep warm while dealing with the rising cost of staying warm. All right, let's go live to the Bexar County Justice Center. Cadena Reeves, Justice Center in the courthouse. J5 of the murder trial of Andre McDonald is underway this morning. We're not sure who this gentleman is, but we know that Andre McDonald's superior officer from the Air Force just left the stand after testifying about conversations he had with Andre McDonald around the time of his wife's death. We're waiting for a little bit more information about who's testifying right now. Our producer says something about he's testifying regarding some property. This may have something to do with the property where Andre McDonald's remains were found.
We'll keep you updated. McDonald is accused of killing his wife back in 2019. If found guilty, he faces up to life in prison. We are continuing to live stream the trial until the end. You can watch it live on KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, and our KSAT YouTube channel. And our court reporter, Erica Hernandez, will have updates on our later newscasts.
Turning now to the outrage over skyrocketing heating bills, as ABC's Elizabeth Schulte reports, one city hall got so many threats from angry residents it had to go on lockdown.
This morning, cities across the West feeling the heat as natural gas prices skyrocket.
You need to go see what's going on with the bill.
Customers facing serious sticker shock after home heating costs ballooned by as much as 300% in January.
Last month was high. $180 is normal for this time of year, but it was over $700 what I got it.
The city hall in Deming, a small town near El Paso, was forced into lockdown after officials started getting threats from people now forced to choose between paying for heating or groceries.
We're waiving all late fees and disconnect fees, till after March.
Meanwhile, in California, SoCal Gas charging 5 times more per gas unit this month compared to January of last year. The state now promising to move up payment on natural gas credits, while LA County has called for the Attorney General to investigate the price hike. It comes as global natural gas prices are dropping, leaving many wondering why bills in the western U.S. are rising. According to a recent report from Natural Gas Intelligence, the cold snap in the West has pushed demand to historically high levels, while U.S. supply is still stunted by a 2021 pipeline explosion in Arizona.
Now, the good news, demand likely hit its peak last month, meaning those bills should start going down in February. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, New York.
Let's look out there with a live cam. We're at 48 degrees, not as cold as the 30s we were experiencing this morning, but still chilly.
Still chilly. We got some clouds out there right now. It's been a nice start to the morning. Again, a little cool. We'll see clouds really increase later today, and we'll see things probably go cloudy this afternoon. I want to first start with a picture of the satellite picture, I should say. Here, we've got some clouds moving through, some high clouds at the moment. And temperatures sitting at 44 degrees at the airport, 42 Hondo, 35 Kerrville, 41 Creosote Springs, 50 down in Katua, and 45 right now in Kennedy. Mostly mid-50s here around San Antonio at this hour. We should jump into the low 50s by noontime. 53 degrees is what we're shooting for. 55, 1 o'clock, and then 58 your high temperature. Then we go cloudy tonight. Southeasterly winds will begin to kick in. If you have Friday evening plans, not a big deal. It'll be a little cool, but should be nice. It's not until Saturday morning that we'll start to see some fog and drizzle and mist and just kind of damp conditions show up. And there's more rain on the way. Better chances of rain coming our way next week. We'll talk all about it, plus some cold temperatures too, here in just a couple minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. The clock is ticking for the Alamo Plaza project in a downtown bar that sits in the way. Now that bar owner may be forced out. The bar's location is where a planned visitor center will be for the Alamo. Yesterday, City Council approved the use of eminent domain to take over that land. There's still time to negotiate a fair price, but that window is closing soon. And the plan to overhaul Alamo Plaza has been in the works for years, and construction on the visitor center is supposed to start in June. Vince Cantu, the owner of Moses Rose's Hideout, says he doesn't have much faith in the negotiation process, no matter the outcome. He says he won't open up the bar anywhere else.
I hope that the people who voted to kill Moses Rose and bury him there will step around his gravesite, because the blood is on their hands.
The plan to overhaul Alamo Plaza has been in the works for years, and the Alamo Trust, which runs the Alamo site, says Cantu has had multiple offers, including one for $3.5 million just last month. Cantu has said he wanted $17 million, but later lowered his price to $8 million. We will continue to follow this story and see how this negotiation process plays out.
Right now it's 9:34. Moving on now to a story about a woman with a message of unity, diversity, and equality. She will be singing the national anthem at this year's Dreamweek Gala, and it comes after leaving her home country of Iran, where her dream of becoming a singer is illegal. Our Jonathan Cotto spoke with the artist, who says sharing her voice is something she's been fighting for her entire life.
I was born in Iran, which is a beautiful country full of history, color, culture, but there's no freedom.
At 22 years old, Gola made the decision to leave her country in pursuit of freedom through music.
I always loved music, always loved singing.
It was at a very young age Gola discovered her passion for singing. She studied in England, mastering in music psychology.
That was a route that I took to arrive in America.
We're so gallantly streaming.
Gola will be singing the national anthem Friday for this year's Dreamweek Gala. Accompanied by an all-woman mariachi.
I feel really honored that I've been given this chance to sing it, because it's a very, very big thing for me.
She says as an immigrant, there is power in singing the lyrics of the Star-Spangled Banner.
It's all about bravery and freedom and victory, and I just love it so much.
Gola says singing the national anthem is empowering, and living in a country that allows her to is a privilege, a freedom not taken for granted.
It's a very important event for our community to understand how different we are, how diverse we are, yet how we are very similar.
At the home of the brave.
Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
And Alyssa joins us again in the studio. So, a lot of women wouldn't dare tell their age, but if you were to ask Heather Zakar, she just might tell you.
Alyssa, we understand it's a special day for Ms. Zakar. She's celebrating a big birthday this year.
Absolutely right. She is celebrating her 101st birthday right here in San Antonio. Happy birthday, Ms. Zakar. We want to show you a picture of Miss Akar that we took the other day. She is just looking fabulous. Take a look at your screen. She's in her yellow jacket in honor of her Yellow Rose of Texas award she received from the governor last year on her 100th birthday. That award was in recognition of her service and to the nation and to the community over the years. Now, her story is just amazing, fun, and cool. Those are the best words I can use to describe it. Back in 1953, Miss Akar was 31 years old, and she decided she was done with the old, boring, mundane, everyday life in Minnesota, and she decided to try something new, and that idea was joining the military. She joined the Army, got certified in nursing, and served as a pediatric nurse for 20 years. But here's what makes her story so interesting. Miss Akar was part of history, a major turning point for women at the time. You know, before the late 1960s, women were not allowed to be promoted to colonel or general. Miss Akar worked hard during her service, but she always knew her rank as major would probably be as far as she would go. But when she finished a deployment in Germany, flew back to New York, and drove all the way across the country to California, she found out she had been promoted.
I called the recruiting office in Santa Monica and asked if they would look in the recent Army Times and see if there was a promotion list for nurses lieutenant colonel. And yes, there was, and my name was on it. So I was on the first list. I wasn't the first one, but I was on the first list.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes, absolutely. You can see she was very proud of that moment. She traveled all around the world to different countries during her time in the service, including India, where she saw the Taj Mahal in person. What do you all think of that?
Pretty amazing.
Awesome. And she, you know, she looks great. You know, she's still, you know, she's still kicking. She's still like, you know, full of energy and everything. We got to know what her secret is.
Exactly. She has a sharp mind, too. So, of course, we asked her, what is the secret to longevity? This is what she told us.
Be helpful to others and be happy. You can be happy even when things aren't going just right. You can choose to be happy, and you can choose to help others.
I love it.
Wow, wherever she's at, she's got a great view out the window. Look at that.
The towers right outside of Fort Sam, Houston.
Oh, yeah,
actually.
I know where that tower's at.
Yes, so shout out to everyone watching there at the towers right now. And from all of us here at KSAT, happy 101st birthday.
And we salute you, Colonel Zakar.
Yes, thank you for your service.
All right. Alyssa, thank you.
Yeah, great story.
Appreciate you sharing. Perfect for a Friday. 9:39, 48 degrees.
You're watching GMSA at 9, and coming up next, the Uvalde Coyotes had an important football season as their coach is getting nominated for a big award. Why he's nominated and what his players are saying.
Welcome back, 9:43. This past year in Uvalde, the football season was so much more about wins and losses. It was also about healing and uniting that community.
The Coyotes played under difficult circumstances, and now their head coach, Wade Miller, has been nominated for an award for his work on and off the field.
There he is right there. RJ Marquez visited with Coach and his team leaders to discuss the season and his nomination for the NFL's High School Coach of the Year.
And I was shocked. I mean, to me, this is just what I'm supposed to do.
Wade Miller has been a Texas high school coach for nearly 30 years, but nothing could have prepared him for last season.
For these guys to accomplish the goals that we had set last offseason and then to do it the right way through a tough situation, I'm proud of them.
The Uvalde Coyotes dedicated their season to the Robb Elementary victims, taking the field not only for themselves, but for a willing community.
And for them to go out there and play with such effort and really sometimes even above their abilities was special.
In the wake of the Robb Elementary School shooting, Coach Miller helped unite this Uvalde team, leading them to 5 regular season wins and a playoff appearance. Miller's leadership helped get the team through an emotional season.
He's always there for us, and ever since that tragedy, you know, he's showed us nothing but love and support.
I think Coach Miller was the right guy. I think it was a blessing for him to come here. I don't think anybody else would have been handling the pressure like he did.
The Houston Texans nominated Miller for the Don Shula NFL High School Coach of the Year award, which represents the best in coaching at the high school level.
He's really changed his program around, and he's just been there for us from the beginning, from this tragedy to the end till now.
We had trusted him, you know, like that he was going to be there if we ever needed him.
Miller is overwhelmed with the nomination, but says it's all about his players, coaches, and the community coming together.
The most rewarding part of all this is for these guys to see them enjoy their season and to see them uplift their community.
Reporting in Uvalde, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
Congratulations in advance, Coach Miller and Uvalde.
Congrats for sure.
Yeah, good year there. Okay, let's talk about what we got going on with the cloud cover. We've got some clouds now starting to spread over parts of San Antonio. We're going to get more clouds this afternoon. Some thicker clouds starting to move in, so it becomes overcast this evening. I want to show you a picture from this morning. I mentioned that sunrise was incredible. We had beautiful, beautiful colors, and this is just another example. This is out of Bernie. Beautiful clouds this morning, great sunrise, and Mike Jones sent this in. We appreciate that picture as always. Beautiful, beautiful stuff out there. And we've got several more to share with you today. And if you got a picture of the sunrise, send it in. You can do that on our KSAT Connect, our KSAT weather app. Best way to do it. There's the scene outside, and we mentioned it's mostly cloudy at the moment. 44 degrees, dew point is at 33, calm winds. And here's that cloud cover I was talking about that will probably surge in from the south a little bit later today. It's starting to gather down here around Brownsville, between Brownsville and Corpus Christi. And this is just a kind of area of thicker moisture that will make its way into our area for sure by tomorrow morning, which will lead to some drizzle and fog and just some wet roads in some cases as the moisture thickens up some. Here's the big picture, and we've got snow up here across the Great Lakes, some snow across the Rocky Mountains, and we've got really nothing, at least at the moment, here across Texas, but there is some energy that'll be coming in from the south and west, and that's why we think things will get a little more damp tomorrow. 53 degrees noontime today, 55 by 1 o'clock. Then we go cloudy by 5 p.m., 58 the high temperature today, and then temperatures hold pretty steady overnight. They won't fall much. It won't be as chilly as it was this morning with all that cloud cover in place. Dew point trend. So let's talk about the dew points over the next several hours. They'll start to climb as we get into tonight. Yeah, it doesn't look like a whole lot of moisture there, but these dew points will be meeting up with our air temperature, and that's when you start to get the fog and the drizzle. And so with temperatures in the upper 40s, close to 50 by tomorrow morning, and dew points near that number, that's why things could become, again, foggy, drizzly, misty. And here's a look at the forecast. So the clouds starting to surge in around 7 o'clock. We mentioned the forecast tomorrow morning, and then we could even see a few showers throughout the day. Anything we see, though, is going to be very light. It's just not going to amount to much. And then clouds hold. Sunday is a little different in the sense that we may get some peaks of sun, but we'll also have a cold front starting to work through. And so by midday, some showers and maybe even a storm or two could develop along the front. And then once the front moves through, then it turns much colder, a little breezy too. And late Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to feel very different. It's going to feel a lot like winter out there. And so here's the long-term forecast. This is the area of low pressure we're going to watch for our better rain chances next week. It starts to sit off to our west on Monday. We've got the cold air, we've got the cold front here. We get that overrunning pattern. So more light showers on Monday with the cold temperatures holding. That'll be the case on Tuesday as well. Then as the low moves a little bit closer, then we get better rain chances starting to kick in, and I think that happens on Wednesday. Showers, maybe a few storms too. Hopefully we get some good rainfall out of it. That would be ideal. And as we look at the potential for rainfall, and this goes through Thursday of next week, so this is a long stretch here, and these numbers aren't terribly high, but I think the highest totals will be off to the east here in San Antonio when it's all said and done, maybe up to ½ inch of rain, we hope. Lower totals off to the west. This could change a little bit, but that's kind of the general idea. 62 tomorrow, clouds all day long, damp, especially in the morning, and then 30% chance of some showers and storms on Sunday with that front. Turns colder, 49 Monday, 48 Tuesday, 50 on Wednesday, and we'll have showers each and every day. I think our best opportunity probably comes Tuesday into Wednesday for that rain, but it'll be chilly next week, that's for sure. Have the jacket, have the umbrellas ready.
Well, hopefully it's all cleared away for rodeo time.
Here's for hoping. We know rodeo, it's always a little tricky, right, with the temperatures, but it's that time of year where we get some pretty significant cold fronts. We'll see how it plays out. Still a little too early to say just yet.
Okay, we'll watch out for it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some morning sports. 0-4-2 for the Spurs in their back-to-back games in L.A. They lost the Clippers last night 138-100. It's the fifth time this season the Spurs have lost a game by 35 or more points. Pop didn't spend much time talking about the game afterwards. His post-game remarks went 15 seconds. He said the team played hard, but in Pop's words, they got their butts kicked. And hopefully the guys learned something.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
We are down to 4 teams fighting for who will go to the Super Bowl in Arizona. We get the final matchup Sunday. First game Sunday is for the NFC Championship between the 49ers and the Eagles. That game's at 2 p.m. And then after that is the AFC Championship game between the Bengals and the Chiefs. Kickoff at 5:30. A couple of great games there to set up Super Bowl 57.
Yeah, it's a lot of people excited about this one.
Yep.
Time now, 9:50 and 49 degrees for now.
The devil is in the details in this doggy adoption. An animal shelter isn't holding back in describing one pup who has some behavioral issues.
But as CNN's Jeannie Mose reports, it actually has people lining up to take him home.
Why is everyone panting to adopt Ralphie, despite or maybe because of the description posted by the Niagara, New York SPCA? He's a whole jerk, not even half.
I was going to just be brutally honest.
He's a year-old, 26-pound French bulldog with serious issues that they tried to deal with humorously. His adoption listing says Ralphie is a fire-breathing demon because when he got too close to a friendly dog,
He was all snarls and lunging and spitting. So in my head, and I was on the other end of this leash, in my head, I'm just like, man, he is like a fire-breathing demon.
when people asked for evidence, the shelter posted video of Ralphie trying to bite a staffer reaching for the latch to enter his kennel.
What's the funniest jerky thing you've seen him do?
The missed bite.
While lying in director Amy Lewis's office,
What are you doing, Ralph?
he suddenly lunged at a passing staffer's leg.
What would be the perfect home for Ralphie?
Well, with the Mother of Dragons, of course.
The one from Game of Thrones. But jokes aside, the shelter will only place Ralphie in a home without kids, without other pets. His demonic profile has attracted 40 to 50 calls a day. He's getting encouragement from owners of other bad-mannered but much-loved Frenchies. From one strong-willed boy to another, keep at it, Ralphie. Someone's going to love you for the sassy boy you are. Ralphie's new owners should be
stern and put up with zero crap.
Softies, don't even think of taking the leap and adopting this little stinker.
Well, excuse me.
He's not exactly a treat.
Good job.
Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Well, Ralphie is spunky with a capital S.
Yeah, patience. You know,
right.
I think, you know, if we have some patience, we can handle him.
He's just misunderstood.
You're a new dog dad.
Yeah.
Do you have some advice?
We're going through some of those pains, but, you know, just stick with it. And you got to be disciplined.
Yes. Good advice there. Good advice. Have a good weekend.